Alright, Boss got the Great back here, doing a review on this puppy. Get this camera set up here for you. Now this is a bulbous holster, but anyways, we're not going to talk about holsters today. We're going to talk about this right here. This is the Taurus Millennium PT-140, chambered in 40 Smith & Wesson. Now, this actually is a pretty good gun. I mean, I've heard some bad reviews about them, but this thing actually shoots well. Put over 300 rounds through it, and it fires true all the time. Let's start here by doing a safety check. As you can see, chamber is empty. Nothing in there, nothing in the mag well. We're clear. Alright, let's start talking about this thing. Now this gun, I got this for, maybe $400, maybe? Actually, it was closer to the high $300 range. And it's chambered in 40 Smith & Wesson, and it's got a 3.5-inch barrel, and it's polymer frame, and this thing's pretty good. I mean, in your hand it feels kind of weird when you first get it, just for the simple fact that it feels a little top heavy, but this thing fires true. As you can see here, it's got the 3 dot sight here. Cover up that serial number for you. It's got the 3 dot sight here, which works good, and the actual sights, as you can see, are pretty big. They're pretty big sights, which works as well. Some people don't like Taurus, but I'm a big fan of Taurus because I've fired Taurus. I've owned at least 4 Tauruses, and they've worked perfectly for me. I'll give you a front picture how that looks. So if you were a bad guy, you see how serious things get. Also, by the way, I'm using Winchester PDX-1 lead bonded bullets. These are 180 grain, and these are, if I'm not mistaken, the rounds that the FBI uses. That's also a pretty interesting fact there. We picked up a box of 50 for about, my local gun store picks up a box of 50 for about $20 or something like that, so they're pretty good. It's got the safety right here, safety for right-handed shooters pretty much. It does not have an ambidextrous safety. Up for safe, down for fire, so I mean, even if you're pulling out your holster, I believe when I pull out of my holster, my safety's going off, if I have a gun with a safety. So as I'm pulling out of the holster, say for instance, this is my holster, I'm pulling out of it, my safety's off, that just comes down and comes up from my shooting position. Now, a lot of people say, well, if you spent that kind of money, you might as well get the Glock. Which is true, but here's the thing. Glocks are great, and I'll agree with, I own a couple of Glocks, and I'll do some reviews on them. Glocks are excellent. I mean, they're just perfect. But you got to take into account, everybody's pocket isn't excellent. Everybody's pocket isn't excellent enough to be able to, buy a Glock necessarily. I mean, these can even be picked up cheaper for what, that. I discovered that when I went to another local gun store. I mean, this is a great gun. It's a great gun. It fires true, and it shoots accurate. I believe it's a matter of preference. And that's just how it is. Now, here we have the slide lock here. Slide lock right there. Locks the slide. Have your takedown lever. And since I'm talking about the takedown lever, I'll show you how to actually take it down. Now, first things first, what you got to do is you're going to pull the slide back to the rear, lock it, twist that little lever, see how, push it down so it looks like that. and you're going to come forward with the slide. And as you come, actually pull this pin out, I'm sorry. Pull the pin out, come forward with the slide, hold the trigger down a little bit. Give it a nice little pull, and it comes right off. Here's the frame if you want to see it. I know it's a little dusty. Needs cleaning. I haven't cleaned it in a while. It's my carry gun, and I always notice carry guns get a little dustier when you're carrying them because, you know, they're in contact. You know, they may brush up against the cloth. But anyways, though, here goes your recoil spring here. Recoil spring comes out. You know, and that's similar to a recoil spring I've seen on the Glock 27, actually, for those enthusiasts who know what I'm talking about. You know, barrel comes out, forward, up, back out. Reach barrel. It has a highly polished feed ramp, in case you didn't know. Like that feed ramp right here. This prevent jams, and it's very good. You know, and it's very, very polished. That's how you keep, you know, feed jams and things like that from happening. But also, same time, things being said, back to those Winchester PDX-1 bullets, they have nickel-plated brass, which means it catches. It doesn't catch as much, and it's great for feeding. It's great and excellent for feeding to hold back on those jams and things like that, things of that nature. So it's, I mean, it's a really great gun. Once again, I know I keep saying it, but this is really a great gun, and it comes with two 10-round magazines and 40 Smith & Wesson, which is another good thing because, you know, sometimes magazines can be $30, $40, you know, and you're like, well, I want a magazine unless you find a gun show, you know, and it works. But anyways, though, putting the gun back together, take it, slide that bad boy forward. It's back in there. Reattach your recoil spring, like so. Get in there good on that notch here, as you can see. And what you're going to do, make sure that recoil spring is correctly in there. Slide it back on the rail, and you're going to pull it back. Now you want to get it so the barrel is completely forward, so you can get this in between the barrel lugs in there. Because if you don't, and this barrel is going to be not right, it may end up here when you pull the slide forward or something like that. It's not going to work. And what you want to do, with the pin facing this way, with the pin facing the up position, slide it back in there. And there's a little bar. I don't know if the video is going to make it out, but there's a little bar. There it is, right there. That little bar. You got to get that little bar right. So there you go. Push that son of a gun in. Might have to manipulate the barrel just a little bit. Hear the click. You'll hear the click. You'll always hear the click. And ready to go. Function test. I'll go ahead and chamber around for the moment just to show you. And show you another thing. Notice the extractor. The extractor's fine. See that extractor area? But when you cock the weapon, as you can see, there's a little protrusion. It protrudes, and there's a red coloring right there to let you know that you have something in the chamber. So that way you still have that, and you might have you have that as a warning sign, and also get rid of this mag. You know, most people check the chamber, say, okay, there's one in the pipe. As you can see, there's one in the pipe. But anyways, I'll get the round out of there, just for safety purposes. I don't want to just, shoot my table up. But anyways, though, overall, this is a great gun. Some of you might like it, some of you might not. Some of you might hear the horror stories and say, oh, that's just not going to work. This gun is great. Fires true all the time, and it goes to work. It's very accurate for a smaller, shorter barrel, 3-inch barrel. 3-inch barrel, I'm used to shooting a 3-inch barrel out of revolver because I'm a big revolver fan. But this is one of the first guns I picked, semi-automatic handguns I picked up, just because it works. So, call it what you want, but I call this a great buy. So this is Bosca the Great signing off. Hope you enjoy. See you on the next review.